guys, it's Tony Gattari from Achievers Group. I have a wonderful insight today. And I just really wanted to share something that I actually think that is really, really important. And this is really important if you're developing teams. I think it's really important for me to understand that a business is a reflection of the owner. And really, it is insane to believe that you can have a successful business without the owner of that business not changing. Because I'll be very honest with you, I'm a business advisor and coach. And it's really interesting that I will only coach people that are coachable. If you came to me and you said to me, Tony, my business is stuffed because of my team. My customers are dingbats. My vendors are idiots. And the marketplace is stingy. Really, I can't help you. But if you came to me and actually said, I actually honestly believe that my business is not performing because I'm not performing, then those are major gold nuggets. Because what I've seen, and I've done a lot of this for a lot of years, is as the owner gets better, as the leader gets better, the business by default becomes better. And as the late Jim Rohn once said, don't wish it was easier, wish to be better. So really what I wanted to talk to you today about is this amazing slide. And it's a very simple slide. It's actually called below the line, above the line. And you can actually see on the slide there's a line. And this has got to do with mindset. And below the line, okay, that is what I call a victim. And we are sometimes all victims, including myself. I go through periods of negativity. I go through periods of doubt. And occasionally, a victim mentality displays the following characteristics. And let's just have a look at these characteristics and the damage that they can do to your business. The first characteristic is the characteristic of denial. You know what I'm talking about. I've run your really large sales teams. You go up to a salesperson and he says, how's business? And he looks at you and he says, oh, I'm going great. But he's got no idea because he never measures anything. He is not operating in faith. He is in total fantasy. Denial doesn't make you content. It actually makes you discontent. The next principle that we see in a victim is the principle of blame. Oh, and my goodness me, can't we blame a lot of people at the moment? Like, because if you're in Australia, like, we can blame the government. Of course, and we can also blame, I think, the carbon tax. That's a good one to blame. And not only that, we could blame the European economies like Greece and Italy that are affecting our economy. And we could also blame the internet. And the difficulty is that these people have an enormous, they blame every single person, device, government, institution for their entire life. And the last quality of a victim is that they have excuses. You know, again, I work with teams and if people have excuses, they always have excuses why they missed the sales budget. They always have excuses of why they missed the sales target. And they must have thought of that at least because they're wonderful excuses. And all I'm suggesting is that in life, I don't know if you're religious or non-religious, so that's fine. But in life, I think we would agree on the principle of attraction or faith. And it actually says that whatever you confess, you will actually possess. It basically says that in life, you will manifest more of what you focus in on. So if you have a team member, or even if you're that person, which could be the case, and you focus on denial, blame, and excuses, then I'm figuring instead of actually moving away from problems, you're actually going to attract and manifest them in your life. Now, here is the choice, guys, because I fundamentally believe that you've got to change your attitude before you change your circumstances. A lot of people live in this amazing world waiting for their circumstances to change. And they never change because change in circumstances can only occur by a change in attitude. So how about this? Let's do the 10-day test. Let's actually play above the line. And these are the above the line qualities that I actually think that we all need to have. Number one quality, if you want to be a victor, is take ownership. It's your business, it's your life. It's your career, it's your destiny, it's your marriage, it's your relationship. Number two is become accountable. You know, I'm a business advisor. I actually have a coach. I need a coach. Because when I left the corporate world, I had a board of directors, and a board of directors were brilliant for me because they kept me honest. Because I always know what to do, I really do, but I just never do it. And the most amazing thing about accountability is it actually forces you to do the things that you need to do in order to get the results. And all I'm suggesting is that if you are struggling with accountability, invite others into your world and allow them to make you accountable for the things that you need to do. They may not add a lot of practical advice because you know how to run your business. But what they will do is that they will be that unreasonable friend we all need in order to get results. And the last characteristic of a victor, the last characteristic is responsibility. And this is a big one. You know, a lot of young people don't like responsibility. They holler and they yell, "Tony, we want our rights. It is my right to leave my partner. It is my right to leave my employee. It is my right to live my life the way that I want." But I fundamentally believe that rights and responsibilities work together to balance. And responsibility is a word, and all that it means is the ability to respond. And God help you if you delegate responsibility to the government called welfare. God help you if you delegate responsibility to your employee. God help you if you delegate responsibility to too small of a client base that you're reliant on. And all I'm suggesting is one of the greatest gifts that God has given us is the ability to respond to our environment using our intelligence and wisdom. Please apply it. And all I wanted to say here, guys, is that as you can see by this little diagram, what I'm suggesting is that if you play above the line, you will focus on solutions. And it's quite extraordinary how many more opportunities will actually really manifest in your life. And finally, I just want to share you a little story because way back when I was a young lad at 27 years old, the first company I ever actually worked for, it was even before 27. I came out of uni, did a marketing degree, and worked for the glamorous, in my field, this was a glamorous company to work for, in FCMG called Johnson & Johnson. And I remember I was a rep as part of that training process. I was a rep and I was a pharmaceutical rep selling their personal care products to pharmacies on the northern beaches of Sydney. And I remember the first car that I got a company car, was a huge, big Ford Falcon station wagon. It was a pretty big car. And Johnson & Johnson were very, very concerned about the amount of driving that you actually do. So they said that as part of your package, you have to go to Oran Park and you actually have to do an advanced driving class, which I went, and I was 23 years old. This was a lot of fun. But I actually remember something about this, and it was really insightful. You know, I didn't understand it then because I wasn't wise enough to understand the proverb. Wasn't wise enough to understand the meaning behind the meaning. But this is what the guy said. He was the driving instructor. He was the one that was teaching us all. And here was his advice. He said, guys, if you're ever in the wet and you've ever lost control of your car, the best bit of advice I can give you is this. Make sure that you focus the steering wheel on where you want to go. Because he said what a lot of people do is when they're in a spin or they lost control of the car, they actually are concerned about hitting the tree, and by looking at the tree, the steering wheel follows. And all I'm suggesting is, where is your steering wheel pointed now? Thank you, and until next time, I will see you soon. Have a great week.